There we go. Awesome, Eric. Good to see you, man. Yeah, that's fine. That's cool. Yeah, that rope is good. That's a lot of rope, though.
Do I have to cut it, or can it be long?
It can be long. You just have to fold it over a few times, but it's okay for now. We'll get that in a bit. It's all right. That's a nice rope, though. It is nice. Where did you get it?
It's a hemp rope.
Yeah. It's a hemp rope. Oh, that's how I had rope that was reclaimed from past yoga studios of yoga masters that died. Everybody's always trying to one up somebody. Anyway, guys, let's get started. So as I said to you last week, we're gonna definitely do some chain today, but I wanted to show you, this stuff is never a fine science, but I taught a really interesting warm-up in class this week, and I wanted to share that with you guys as well, because I think you'll get a lot out of it. And then we'll also do chain as well. Like, there's lots of time, like we should be able to get to it. So if you don't mind, I want to show you that, because I think Karen, you were there for that. Was it Tuesday class you were there, Karen? Yeah. So you saw that. So that was a really nice warm-up that a lot of people sent me good feedback about. So it's one of those that I think everyone will benefit from. So we should maybe do that. It won't take too long, and then we still have plenty of time for the chain. Okay, you'll be able to play with both on the weekend, because it's being recorded, so you can watch it again and just kind of go through some of the stuff. Okay, so what I'm going to show you is a warm-up where, you know how I tell you guys tense up and relax, right? Like, we do these various tension drills and isolation drills, but we're going to add some percentages to them, and we're never going to get to 100%, and we're never going to get to 0%. So I'll be asking you to hold tension like 20%, and then 50%, and then 70%. And we'll be doing it in different parts of the body. And it's going to force you to be able to put a little bit of more of a number to the amount of tension that you're carrying in any given part at any given time. So you might hear, breathe in, go to 50%, and breathe out, go to 25%. So now you're not completely relaxing, but you're siphoning off some of the tension, or you're putting some back on. So rather than on off, it's more like a dimmer switch we have now. So light is never off, it's never on. We're just playing with the dimmer switch for the frequency of light that we want to emit, so to speak. Does that make sense, guys? It kind of really interesting work, and it's very, there's a lot of similarities to music when you learn how to hit a note, but then you learn by vibrating your finger, it changes the frequency of the sound, or by lifting your finger quickly or putting it down quickly, it changes the echo of the frequency. So controlling your tension from 50 to 25 or to 75% can make a person hold on more or let go more. So it's really interesting how that happens, right? For those of you in the business world, you realize how subtle rapport is. It's not rapport, and the way with which you talk to somebody can spell success more than necessarily the words, right? So it's very similar to tension levels in their body. The really good martial artists understand how to control their tension quite good. So if you don't have any questions, or you can have questions later, whenever you like, just lie down quickly. I'll walk you through it. So get comfortable, right? Get comfortable. And what you're looking for is just to take a quick body scan, like just start breathing, and just kind of start from top to bottom, and just kind of, head, eyes, ears, just walk your way down one by one through your body. Just do a check-in and make sure that, you're there. Sometimes different parts aren't there. And just give it a minute or two, and just obviously breathe. And when you're ready, I want you to inhale and tense up both your arms about 20%, like 20%. And then as you exhale, you relax your arms, but you tense up your legs at 40%. So as you inhale, there's a tension to the arms at 20%. And as you exhale, there's a tension directed towards the legs at 40%. So twice as much as what was in the arms. And try to see if you can find that difference. Now switch that. So 40% tension in the arms and 20% tension in the legs. Now move that. So 40% tension in the stomach, 20% tension in the back. So inhale, tense up the stomach at 40%. Exhale, tense up the back at 20%. Switch that, 20% tension in the stomach, 40% tension in the back. Twenty percent tension on the left side of your body, everything on the left side. 40% tension on the right side. A little bit more on the right side, or double. Switch that, 40% on the left, half of that 20% on the right now. Good. Start to move on the ground a little bit. Let's kind of start to move freely. Just to kind of break the ideas in your head right now. Just kind of move your body, see how it's moving. Awesome. Good. Okay. So give me some quick initial feedback. How did that feel? Could you see the difference between the you could feel that, right? So there's no real end to that. Like you can keep going. We're gonna go to we'll do one more, but you can pick those numbers. But what you want to do is be able to feel the difference between the two different states. So 20 and 40. It's easy, double. Like it's easy to remember as double, right? You might find that arms and legs are easy, but left and right is hard. Maybe stomach and back is easy, but you might find one or the other hard, right? Once you start going diagonally across the body, so say, left arm to right leg or right arm to left leg, 20%, and then 40% from, the other way, right? That's also really challenging, kind of going across the body, but there's really no end to that thing, right? It's a really nice calibration tool. It allows you to kind of calibrate if you can control tension. Let's do one more, and it's going to go from 50 to 75. So what's interesting is 50 is a nice number. 50 is like 50%. At any given time, you shouldn't be training past 50% of your ability personally, okay? And I don't know how, like, what do they say of people's brain? We don't even use 10% of our brain, right? Like, when we're training, don't go as close. I rarely go that far as 50%. I try to do more with the first 50 than go into that other part. I always found that when I'm going into a real situation, I want to know, that's kind of sounds kind of weird, but I don't know how good I can be. It's like I plan out half my classes because the other half can be absolutely more amazing than anything I could ever plan. So I only work with half my ability because I think the other half is untouched. I don't even know. I don't want to plan the rest of it. I don't want to know what 100% is for myself. That part I want to be able to unfold as time goes on. So you're going to go to 50% now of tension, and then you're going to go to 75. And 75 is about as close as you want to get to maximum tension. Maximum tension is everything locked. Like there's no movement at all, right? 75% still allows for some movement, okay? Can we try that before we move on? Okay, let's go quickly. Okay, lie down. Much like we started, right? So 50% tension in the arms, and then breathe out 75% tension in the legs. So it's almost max. And then just keep bouncing back and forth. 50% in the arms, 75 in the legs. Now switch it, 75 in the arms, 50 in the legs. A little bit less. %50 tension in the stomach, 75 in the back. $75 in the stomach, 50 in the back. $50 on the left side, 75 on the right side. $50 on the right side, 75 on the left side. And good, start to move on the ground a little bit, just to kind of see how your body feels as you're moving. Awesome. Okay, good. Come around. Oh, how did 750 and 75 go? Okay. No problem. Easy peasy. No problem. Karen, how
David,
did it feel?
the same challenges with the 50-75 and the 20-40 is that like when I'm doing my whole side or my whole back, it's noticing that like there'll be like 83% up in my shoulder and then like 30% on my side, and like trying to recognize that it's not just like I don't have it as one piece that can tense at the same degree.
Yeah. No, I feel the same thing sometimes. So you realize when you do this, how knowing how to siphon off tension. So I don't want to lose it all. I want to just siphon some off, right? It's like, if things go, how can I say it? An amount of tension will get the better of you. Like you'll feel it, right? Like you feel it better. Like I'm trying to, there's so many analogies that come to my mind, but if something is too relaxed, it's hard to work with it. It's like jello, right? It's like trying to pick up a drunk. You're so loose, it's really difficult to work with this person, right? You need an amount of tension for each one of us that will work really well. And finding that and realizing that it's not consistent in our bodies, it's all over the place, right? Now, the last one that I want to show you, Miro, did you have a question? I don't want to. No, you're good. Karen, how did it feel doing it a second time? Could you see it like a little bit better now?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing I noticed is the microcosms. So 20-40 in class was the first experience of like, wow, I'm still holding tension from the previous moment. Now it was like, as I'm in the 20 or the 40 or the 75, I can feel certain muscles. Oh, they're not actually tensing up. They're not doing anything. Meaning the awareness is coming into micro parts of your body as you're tensing them. And it's like, oh, this isn't doing what it's supposed to be doing. It needs to be doing more or less, like equally.
When I remember some trainers would be touching my, they'd say, tense up your arm, and then they would touch, and all of a sudden, boop, another group of muscles would just pop up just from the tapping. It's like, he goes, yeah, they're just asleep. And it's very common in some muscles of the leg that they need to be woken up by just tapping them. And by doing this, sometimes you actually feel like, oh my God, this muscle woke up. I found that with some muscles in my back as well, right? Okay, good. Now, the last one is where we bounce between 20 and 40 and 40 and 20, but we never go back. So we'll just do it from here for a second so you can see it, right? So tense up your arms to 20%. So there's just a little bit of tension, right? So just from here, we'll do it, right? And then with an inhale, with an exhale, go to 40%. And with an inhale, you go back to 20. So you never go to 0 again. You just breathe out, you go to 40. Breathe in, you go back to, so as I'm breathing in, I relax just a little bit to go to 20%, not to shut off. So this is valuable because you're learning how to, with your breath, to take off a little bit of tension, but not completely relax. So I'm stronger on the exhale and a little bit more relaxed on the inhale, but still I hold a little bit of tension. Good, so that's the idea. So now lie down. So now you can lie down until you got the idea. So try that exact same thing with your legs, with your stomach, with your back, just separately. So if I were to do my back, I would say I breathe in, I'm at 20% tension. And as I breathe out, I'm at 40%. So just on my back, I breathe in, I go to 20. I breathe out, I go to 40. And just keep doing that over and over with different parts of your body, like stomach, legs, arms, face, neck, like as many parts as you can. Go from 20 to 40. A little bit more on the exhale. So tension is 40 at exhale. Now you can reverse that if you like, where on the exhale, you're at 20, and on the inhale, you go to 40. So you can reverse the breathing pattern and see how that feels. So as I breathe in, I tense up my stomach at 40%. And as I breathe out, I go to 20. And try it with all parts. So just reverse the breathing pattern. Awesome. Move on the ground a little bit, just to kind of break the ideas in here. Move a little bit, just see how your body feels somehow. Awesome. Good. Stand up. Good, 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 good. Okay. How'd that feel, guys? A little different. You see that? So I just picked arbitrary numbers, and not arbitrary. They're actually not arbitrary. Let's correct myself. They're pretty specific. You never want to go much past 50%. 75 would be as close as you want to get to in terms of your tension. And that's a good number to know. The closer you get to 100, the less you can move your joints, the chance of damage and stuff like that become great. So you want to kind of keep it to between 50 and 75 if you're going to go. So practice that warm up. Try it like often as you can to kind of vary that you don't just have on off with your tension, but that you understand that you can start to use that. I don't know if Eric is there. Eric, you there? I just want to make sure you're here. You can hear it. I think he might just step. There he is. There's Eric. There you go. So at the beginning, guys, remember this is fundamental. I wouldn't show this to somebody that's new in Systema. They usually come to you. Most people come to Systema tense, and their big goal is to relax. But once they relax, like once you figure out how to relax, then we reinsert tension that's under your control, because at the beginning people's tension's out of their control, right? Like, and like I can't say it's all tension. Like I know Karen's working on tension through your back, right? So for me, the last tension I had was tension in my shoulders. I struggled with tension in my I could relax all other parts of my body, but my shoulders were the last ones to finally relax under my command. And still now I catch myself sometimes like this. So it's my nemesis, right? I got to be very careful of my shoulders. If I watch videos and you see them going up, just tell me right away, because I can't see myself, right? Now, some like I have quite square shoulders, so you got to get past that. That's for my grandfather, not mine. But but generally you can see, because see how there's a slope to my shoulders? There's a little slope. That won't be there when there's tension. It'll be straight. They'll literally be straight across, right? So it's that subtle that I know when I'm tense. There's a little bit of there should always be a little slope to our shoulders, guys. Really, there should always be, okay? Okay, good. Try that, and figure that out, because, knowing how to control tension is, like ideally it's not good to control, let a car skid, but look at what those guys can do. The stunt drivers can do with a car and skid, right? Like they know how to control the tension of the rubber on the road. Bikes, motorcycles, the same, right? Watch what some of those guys can do with the bike, right? If you're skilled, you can control the tension and you can do some amazing things with a car and a motorcycle when you understand that, right? Same in martial arts, okay? Okay, grab a rope and a chain if you have it. I'm going to show you with the rope, but then I'm going to go to the chain for myself. The rope is just a little bit more forgiving, okay? So for myself, the rope is roughly the length of like from my chest to my arm. That's always a pretty good distance to begin with. That's not a fine rule, but it can be longer, Eric. It's not a big deal, right? So start by holding the chain in your arm and just swing it, right? And just start to or a rope, and just swing it a little bit. And try to see how the swing should come not from your shoulder, but it's coming from my chest. Like most people start to swing it from their arms. I'm holding it still and I'm trying to kind of swing it from the movement of my chest, right? Yeah. And you can try swinging it like left and right? But the movement is from here. And try to feel how you can generate this movement in this object from your body, not so much from your arm. And try to let the movement start to kind of like allow it a little in my wrist. My wrist is obviously relaxed, but the real movement is coming from my chest and my body. Yeah, the rope around, right? And you can try it with different hands, right? But that you kind of get the motion from your body. And if I put my hand on my chest, I can feel that, right? I can actually feel it a little bit. I can feel how I give some motion. And I start to kind of move it all around, right? I start to move it all around me. Yeah. So I get this, rope in motion. I just see what it can do. I could pass it freely from one hand to the other, right? I'm just trying to keep it in motion completely. Try not to hit yourself, but it happens once in a while. It's all over YouTube. So I'm trying not to necessarily generate the motion from my arms. I'm just trying to feel the weight of this rope and the relaxation of my body, mostly from the chest. So I'm not trying to force it with my wrist or my shoulder. The weight of the weapon is more than enough to get it in motion. Now, some movements will feel better than others. This is one, right? To one side, to the other side. You can see how my chest and my hips kind of rotating a little to one side and to the other side is really important. Just stop for a sec, guys, just so I can explain some stuff, just so you can watch me here. So if I take the rope away, right, and look at my movement, it's that really subtle movement of like I'm moving away from a kick. I'm moving, so the movement is I'm protecting my center line, right? Like you can see how I kind of move, like there's this, like my shoulders go to 45 on either angle. So it's like I'm really just kind of this really subtle move of left and right? Try that. So as the body turns to one side, it's like 45 degrees, and that rotation brings the rope around. I'm trying to just go slow. I usually go a little bit faster, but I just want you guys to see that. How I'm not using my shoulders, but more my body turning that gives this rope the movement it needs. Keep going. Let me watch you for a sec. That's it, Karen. That's it. That looks good. Eric, that's nice. That's nice. Just relax your shoulders a little bit. Yeah, just let it. Yeah, it's only a rope. Mira, that's good. So now just hold the rope in your one hand for a second, and try to see if you can replicate the same motion with your hand. So it's like your hand now became the rope. So it should feel very similar. Try not to accelerate, because acceleration is like a more desire work, right? Just let the arm, the weight of the arm and the rotation of the body move the arm. So it's not, I'm not trying to move my arm. The way my rotating. And then try it with the other hand. Awesome. So that's a really easy pattern to see the application. Anything coming towards you, whether it's a stick or a knife, it's easy to see how that application of turning the body, if somebody pushes you or somebody starts to kick you, like, and you, that small rotation is enough to redirect the force so it doesn't come directly inside you, okay? So when I'm working with the rope and I start to kind of move it, now I'm going to start to move it all around my body. So the trick is that it doesn't touch my body, but my body is also ready to move. So if it's coming too close, I can move it, right? So you start to move this thing all around you, right? And what I'm thinking of is the weight of this. I'm trying to think of how many of you ever gone fishing? I'm just curious. Maybe I give you that. Okay. So who knows the difference between fly fishing and regular fishing? Eric, do you know? You better know. I was
Fly fishing is where you're putting the energy into the line, and then the line carries the
yes.
energy and it rolls it.
Yeah, you made me happy now. So in regular fishing, you have a weight and you throw the weight, and that people. But with fly fishing, the rope is the weight. The string is the weight. Okay. For you, for sometimes, like, we have a knife, right, and we have a physical weight, right? With the rope, there's no, or chain, the whole thing is the weight. There's not a tip. There's not like a lure or some weight on the end of it, right? So for us, I'm trying to, as I move this, feel the weight of the rope or the weight of the chain. So I'm moving it around me right now without touching me. That's the main goal. If it comes towards me, I want to kind of move out of the way. So if it's coming towards my head, I move out of the way. If it's coming towards my leg, I move my leg. So start to move the rope or chain around you and feel how you don't want it to touch your body, and feel how you can give it some movements, right? Look at the movements that you can give the weight of this rope. Remember, your body's alive. It's you do not want the rope or the chain to touch you, so you can move your body, right? Watch me, guys. Look, just watch here, right? It's hitting me, right? It's it. So for me, as soon as the rope comes, I move my body. Like, I want to move my body. I want to move my leg, move my head. So you just have to look at the way the rope comes towards you and move out of the way. So you're always moving out of the way. You don't want it to touch you. Okay, try these two. Let me help you out. You're close. Try these two. So this one here, okay, this one here, it's like somebody kicking you like in a roundhouse kick, right? This angle, right? There's that angle, right? So it's like a kick like that across your body. So as it comes, I'm moving. So as it comes, I move my body, right? This one, you know, the one that, this one coming straight up to my head, right? As it comes up, I move out of the way. As it comes towards me, I move out of the way. As it comes around, I move out of the way. These two are really good. So towards your head, move your head out of the way. Towards your arm, move around. Guys, watch me for a sec. You're both playing, dude. Look, I gave, see, I put hard knots on this, okay? Karen was trying to understand why I don't do, so just watch me, okay? I hope this will work. Like, I literally sending it right back into my forehead. And at the last, well, I missed there. Whoop. At the last second, it's exactly like a punch to my face. I fling this back to myself like that, but right to my face, and I move right at the last second, right? It's the same here. I'm moving at the last second. I'm moving at the last second. So throw it back to your face, or just close your mouth, Karen. Make sure it doesn't go in your face. Yeah, Eric, like that. That's it. Yeah, like that. This way you study how to move your face from things that come right at you. Yeah. Oh, that's good, guys. That's great. Okay, you got it, guys. That's good. There's tons like this towards your legs and this and that. So that's how you work with a rope or a chain without contact. Okay, so this is important. But then now you want to work with contact. So it's the same with punches and kicks, but we're going to try it now with this. Okay, so watch my arm. I start to move the rope in a circle, and then I start to let it wrap around my arm. So I inhale and just no, watch me this. The movement's from here, not from my arm. It's easy to do it like from your arm. Try it from here. Let the weight of the rope, the weight of the rope, wrap it around your arm. Yeah. A very small move. It doesn't require much because it's going in a circle, so it already has centrifugal force. You don't need to add too much. You want to let it wrap without too much force. Just start the movement from your chest, and it wraps quite nicely. Yeah, very little movement. Okay. So as the rope comes around you, okay, as it wraps around you, right? What I love about this is that the rope makes your wrist feel, I don't know, for on Karen Box, when you wrap up your fists, like, you know, when you put the wraps on your hands, they feel so strong, like they, you know, because the wrist has total support, you really feel like you want to punch something, right? And, you know, it reminds me of blood sport. I don't know what they did this stupid so, but after I do this, right, when it wraps around, when the rope wraps around, it feels so strong for me. Like, I just feel like this is how I want my fist to feel when I punch. So when you take the rope off and you make your fist, it should really feel like I still feel that rope. I can still feel that, the power on my wrist, the support it has, right? So try this a few times, right, where you wrap your wrist, you know, you wrap the rope around your wrist, and then hold it nice and tight, you know, really feel that support, right? And then take the rope off and just make that fist, and it should still feel like you feel that feeling. It really feels solid, right? With a chain, that effect is even more so, right? Like that effect, because the chain has weight. It has like a heaviness to it where the rope doesn't. And it just feels so solid. Like if you could only imagine punching with this kind of extra, you know, pound of weight on your wrist, right? When I take it off, if my fist feels totally different than it does with the rope. So the chain gives you a feeling, such an interesting feeling in your fist, right? It just feels, it just feels perfect. Just feels like, man, I wish I had one of these when I was go grocery shopping. Guys, come around for a sec. Come around, just watch. See if you can hear this, okay? So I hope you guys can hear this. You hear that end bit? You hear that end bit? So with the chain, you realize that that last little bit is the part that hurts a lot. Okay. Now, because it goes around my wrist and just slaps at the end, you realize that I have to be more relaxed at the very end than I do at the beginning. So as this wraps, there's not much that happens until that end bit happens. It just hits me, right? You can see it better across my body, right? As it goes around, at the end hits me. And it really stings, right? There's just a nasty hit. So you can go around your arms or you can go around your body, okay? And the same principles apply. Relax on contact, especially that tip that comes around, okay? Try it with the rope, put it around your body. Yeah. Try to relax your body, and you can uncoil the rope. Yeah, you can uncoil it. As it coils, you can uncoil it. It coils, uncoil it. See the movement from the body? Body. Body. That's it, Karen. That's it. Don't use your arm. Don't use your arm. Use your body to uncoil it, Karen. Turn your hips and let the hips. That's it. That's it. More power like that. Yeah, yeah. That's it, Eric. That's it. Mira, how does that chain feel? And I'll get you up in the morning.
Well, chain is fine. I was hit with the chain before. The problem is the confined space here.
I know, man. I know. Do your best. I understand.
Okay.
Good. Okay, guys, good. Come around. How is that? Do you feel it? These are the places that you want to, Eric, you wanted to say something, I think. No? So start with the rope. You start with the rope. It's a little bit more forgiving, especially when the hits, right? And then you progress to heavier things. Now, these chains, you can get them in so many weights. You know, this is like the middle of the grade, but there's twice as heavy. And the heavier it goes, the more inertia you feel and the more oomph there is at the end. So it hurts a little bit more. I don't even know where to begin. There's just so many. But if you can understand the wrapping around the arm and the wrapping around the body, and that, like, watch just one more time, guys. Look here, and then I turn. See, it's like my body turns. My body turns. My arms aren't involved almost at all. Okay? They're not involved at all. This way, I start to train myself, you know, stabbing comes or punches come, my body is always rotating. It's not my arms that are busy, right? My arms are just vehicles for this stuff, okay? And if you can take the feeling, like the feeling of steel is going to be different than the feeling of your rope. The ropes are different. Like yours is a hemp rope, might be heavier, right? Different rope materials, different metals will feel different as well, right? So they'll provide a different feeling to the body. After I did a little bit of chain now, and it's hitting my body, it's amazing how sensitive my body would be to any contact from something steel, like a knife, because it's sensitive to steel now. Like it's been hit by steel. So it's very sensitive to that already, right? Questions, guys? Anything? Ask me. No? It's a huge topic, chain work. I love it. It's just, please be careful, because it usually goes right to your mouth. Usually teeth are chipped teeth, which is usually happens to me. You can, the other thing with the chain is you can start to, because it's got more oomph, see how it's, it has more bounce. It has more like than the rope. It's got sharper movements. So I can play with the chain in the middle, right? I can play with the chain from the tip. I can play with the chain with my legs, right? There's so many things you can do. It's just how much pain you want to put up with, because for some strange reason, this thing always finds like the places where there's no protection, ankles, elbows, teeth. It's really, please go slow, or try the rope for a little bit before you go to something crazy like this. How does it feel, guys? Is it okay? Is it enough for you to get started? Please play with this a little bit more. Okay, don't go away. Yeah, don't go away from a chain. Like, it is really a wonderful tool. I guess it could be considered a weapon, but I honestly don't think you're going to be walking around with a chain. But what I like about the chain is that, much like Eric had mentioned with the fly rod, there's this idea sometimes that we have a fist and we have elbows, you know, knees and feet. But if you could see your arm as the whole thing being a weapon. So in other words, this part, the whole thing is a weapon. This whole thing is a weapon. Any part of this chain is as good as the other. So it breaks the idea of like punch, elbow. It's like just the whole arm is like, you know, it's like a shield of some sort. You don't, any part of it is good, right? So when I found the chain, I found that it broke the sportsman mentality in my head, right? It's such a different weapon. And like, you know, most people struggle with fly fishing is because they can't wrap their head that they're casting the line, not the fly. The fly has no weight at all. So that concept in martial arts seems to be a little bit foreign, right? But that you're making a movement, you're not necessarily aiming like with a fist or something. It's just a movement, right? And that movement has power, right? So the more movement I can get into the fly line, the more further I can cast that fly. But that takes a mind shift to think about, okay? So practice that and practice that tension thing. A lot of hidden stuff this week in those two things that I'm showing, okay? Guys, anytime, I can't stress this enough. send me an email. You want to talk? There's something in training. Please reach out. I'm around. I'll make time. Usually Thursdays or Fridays. I'll make some time to talk to you guys. But please practice this stuff. Even if you want to film a little bit with your phone, like a minute of you doing some work, and send it to me. I'll give you some feedback too. Always. It doesn't take me too long. Okay. I usually do it with my son or my daughter, and they're much harder on you than me. But anyway, I hope you're well. I hope you enjoyed the chain. I got some other stuff planned for next week. We'll see. We'll start to. I'll definitely send you a note if you need any equipment. But for now, I think we're good. Okay. Please practice. Send me videos if you're struggling. All right. Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you, Emmanuel.
Have a wonderful weekend. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Manny. Have a nice weekend.
Bye. You too. Bye, everybody.